Did you know that your morning meal choices might quietly be harming the muscles and blood vessels that help keep you strong in the places that matter most? If you're past 60 and have noticed weaker erections, lower energy, or tingling or numbness in the lower body, the real issue might not be your age. Your breakfast could actually be making things worse. Most men don't realize that their first meal of the day either helps support blood flow to the groin or slowly cuts it off more and more over time. And here's something even more surprising: many are missing one simple food that could begin to fix the problem. I'm Dr. Mariah Kayat, a specialist in men's health with over 3 decades of experience in urology and age-related performance concerns. I've treated thousands of men across the country who believed their intimacy was fading just because they were getting older. What we discovered was far more encouraging. Here's the truth: your body still wants to bring blood back to your lower regions. But it only can if you give it the right tools. And those tools aren't hiding in a bottle or a prescription pad. They're hiding in 5 very specific morning foods, simple, common foods you likely already have at home, but never used to support your male circulation the right way. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to use them. You'll discover how 5 easy ingredients can improve blood flow to your lower body, strengthen pelvic muscles, and help boost your confidence without risky side effects. Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal a unique combination that's helping men feel real results in under a week. Before we jump in, if you're truly committed to taking back your vitality and improving circulation in the areas that count, tap the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you never miss another tip designed just for men over 60. And if what I'm sharing today connects with you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I read every reply, and your feedback helps me create better advice for your real life needs. All right, let's start with the first food. It's probably already in your fridge, but most men don't realize what it can actually do when timed right. It's simple, it's familiar, and when eaten early in the day, it can boost blood flow and help repair muscles in the region that matters most. I'm talking about plain yogurt, one of nature's most underrated tools for improving circulation down below once you're over 60. I've lost count of how many older men have sat across from me, feeling discouraged, embarrassed, and unsure why things weren't working like they used to down there. And nearly every time I ask about their diet, they just shrug and say something like, "Doc, I only have coffee in the morning, maybe a slice of toast if I get around to it." What they don't realize is that their bodies, especially at this age, are crying out for very specific nutrients as soon as they wake up. And one of the richest sources of those nutrients is something that's been in their fridge all their life: plain yogurt. I know yogurt sounds like just a light snack, but let me be clear. If you're a man over 60 and you're not eating plain yogurt on a regular basis, you are missing out on one of nature's most effective ways to help your lower body regain strength and blood flow. The power lies in its probiotics, protein, and calcium. The probiotics help reduce the inflammation that can slow blood flow. The protein and calcium help build and support the muscles of the pelvic floor. Those muscles are what support erections, manage urinary flow, and help you stay balanced through your day. As blood flow slows with aging, these muscles are often the first to weaken. But if you feed them the right way, especially in the early hours of the morning, your body responds. You start to feel steadier, experience fewer cramps or tingling, and yes, regain a sense of control and confidence in intimate moments. And it's not because of a pill, it's because the blood is flowing again. I remember a patient named James, age 65. He told me he hadn't had a morning erection in over 2 years. Just 4 weeks after starting his mornings with a bowl of plain yogurt and a small drizzle of honey nothing complicated, he called me, his voice full of surprise. "Doc," he said, "I woke up feeling like I was 40 again. That's what happens when you feed your body what it's been asking for at the right time. The second food I often recommend may surprise you too." Every time an older man comes into my office with complaints of poor circulation, weaker performance, or that heavy dragging feeling in the legs or groin, I don't just look at their medications, I ask what they're eating in the morning. And more often than not, the answer is either nothing or something full of sugar and empty carbs. What I recommend instead might sound too basic to matter, but it's changed lives: a warm bowl of quinoa with almonds. Quinoa alone is an excellent food for aging arteries. It's packed with magnesium and fiber, which help open blood vessels and improve blood circulation. For men over 60, this isn't just a nice benefit, it's essential. Now, add almonds to that bowl, and things get even better. Almonds contain healthy fats, vitamin E, and antioxidants, all of which help your blood vessels relax, lower inflammation, and improve blood flow. This isn't just good for your heart, it directly impacts your ability to get and keep a healthy erection. I remember Robert, age 69. He told me he felt like his body was slowing down after retiring: low stamina, aching legs, fading intimacy. I asked him to switch his sugary breakfast cereal for quinoa, topped with almonds, blueberries, and a pinch of cinnamon. Within 2 weeks, his legs felt lighter. By week 4, he was sleeping better and waking up feeling fresher with noticeable improvements both in and out of the bedroom. "Doc," he told me laughing, "I can't believe a bowl of quinoa is doing this. But the truth is, what you eat in the morning sets the tone for how your blood flows all day. And this warm, nourishing bowl tells your body that it's safe to open up, safe to energize those deeper muscles and nerves that keep you feeling like yourself." Now, if you want to take things even further, there's one fruit that works almost like nature's own version of a performance booster, but without any of the dangerous effects. Most men ignore it, but when eaten the right way, it works surprisingly quickly. I'm talking about pomegranate. I still remember the look on my patient Michael's face, age 63, when I told him to eat pomegranate in the morning. He laughed and said, "Doc, I thought that was just for fancy events." But what he didn't know is that pomegranate is filled with polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that help raise nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is what opens up your blood vessels and allows more blood to reach your lower body. It's the same biological pathway used in many erectile medications. The only difference, here, you're using food instead of drugs, and it works fast. I've had patients tell me they felt more sensitive and stronger in the mornings within just a week of adding pomegranate to their routine. There's something amazing about letting your body do what it was built to do. No chemicals, no prescriptions, just real food doing its job. Michael called me 2 weeks later and said, "I don't know if it's the pomegranate or the fact that I'm finally having breakfast, but something is definitely waking up down there." We both laughed, but he was right. The polyphenols were helping his blood vessels open, giving that area of his body a renewed feeling of life. For best results, eat pomegranate on an empty stomach or just before your main breakfast. A small handful of seeds or a glass of pure juice is enough. Just make sure it's fresh or unsweetened. If you've been looking for a natural, refreshing way to bring more energy and life to your mornings, especially in the lower half of your body, this might be what you've been missing. And if you really want to keep that energy steady and balanced through the day, don't skip the next food. It's creamy, easy to prepare, and when paired with the right kind of healthy fat, it becomes one of the most powerful morning tools I know. That food is avocado with olive oil. This recommendation always surprises men the most. Avocado, they ask, for circulation, and I always say yes. It makes perfect sense. When you wake up, your blood vessels are empty. Your muscles have gone hours without fuel. Your nerves need calm and balance. And your lower body, your legs, pelvis, and groin needs help to get going. A simple half avocado mashed with extra virgin olive oil can be that gentle, powerful nudge your body needs.
Avocados are full of monounsaturated fats that keep arteries flexible. They also have potassium to manage blood pressure. Add olive oil, which is rich in anti-inflammatory nutrients, and you've got a powerful combo.
These help your blood vessels function better, your nerves fire more clearly, and your muscles move more smoothly. I had a patient named William, age 72. He told me he woke up each day with numb legs and an uncomfortable ache in his groin. Stretching, massage, and medications hadn't helped. I asked him to try just one change half an avocado with olive oil before breakfast. He was unsure, but 3 days later he called and said, "Doc, I don't know what's going on, but I don't have to lean on the dresser just to stand up anymore." There's something powerful about starting the day with real food, something your body knows and understands, something that doesn't just mask symptoms, but helps rebuild from the inside out. Avocados may seem basic, but they can quietly and effectively help restore blood flow, balance nutrients, and boost the energy behind every step you take. Now there's one final food I recommend that too many men ignore, but it's full of benefits for blood vessels, muscles, and overall vitality. And that's blackberries. These small, dark fruits are rich in anthocyanins, antioxidants that help keep blood vessels flexible and strong. They also contain vitamin C and fiber, great for reducing inflammation and supporting muscle function. I had a patient named David, age 66, who added a handful of blackberries to his breakfast. Less than a week later, he told me, "Doc, I didn't expect it, but I feel more awake even in places that have been quiet for a while." If possible, eat them fresh or frozen, blended into yogurt or smoothies. The effects are subtle, but real, helping you feel more connected to your body, more alive. And if you've made it this far, that already tells me something very important: you care. You're not giving in to age. You're not just going along for the ride. You're still willing to fight for your health and your strength. And that matters more than you know. Because in the end, knowing these things is only half the job. What really changes your life is what you do next, and that starts tomorrow morning. Because in the end, knowing these things is only half the job. What really changes your life is what you do next, and that starts tomorrow morning. You don't need to feel perfect. You don't need to know all the answers. You don't need to wait for some big sign from the universe to begin. All you need is a quiet moment with yourself, a simple meal chosen with care, and the decision to stop ignoring what your body has been trying to tell you. The truth is, your body hasn't given up on you, not even close. It's just been waiting for you to pay attention, to shift one small thing, to give it even the slightest bit of support. And when you do, it responds. Sometimes not loudly, sometimes not all at once, but it responds. What I want you to remember is that progress doesn't always show up as fireworks. Sometimes it shows up as waking up a little easier, feeling more grounded in your legs, having a stronger step or a calmer bladder. Sometimes it's as small as not needing to sit down so often, or noticing a sense of heat, of life, returning to a place that's been numb for too long. And sometimes it's even more personal than that. It's looking in the mirror and liking the man who looks back, not because you're chasing youth, but because you're honoring what's still strong inside you. Your story isn't over. In fact, this next part could be the most grounded, most powerful, most honest chapter yet. But only if you choose to show up for it. You see, the body is loyal. If you take care of it, it remembers. It forgives the years of neglect, the skipped breakfasts, the late nights, the stress. It just wants a reason to trust you again. And trust doesn't require perfection. It just needs consistency. Small efforts repeated daily. And that's what breakfast can be. This first hour of your day, it's sacred. It sets your rhythm, your tone, your clarity. It doesn't need to be loud or complicated. It just needs to be yours, chosen with intention. Prepared with kindness, eaten without rushing, and that simple act, it's more than nutrition. It's a message. It tells your cells, your nerves, your blood vessels, wake up, we're not done yet. And as strange as it sounds, these little foods we talked about today, they hold wisdom. Plain yogurt doesn't just feed your gut. It reduces the hidden fire of inflammation that wears you down. Quinoa and almonds don't just taste good. They help carry oxygen where it matters. Pomegranate reminds your blood how to move again. Avocado gives your tired nerves a second wind. Blackberries protect the very tubes and tissue that give you strength and pride. Each one is a quiet medicine, built not in a lab, but in the soil, shaped not by machines, but by nature. And it's waiting on your plate. If you're feeling doubt, I understand. If you've tried things before and nothing changed, I hear you. But I also need to tell you this. Your body is always renewing, always adapting. It's not too late. It never was. Even if you're 70, even if you're 85, even if parts of you feel far from how they used to be, there is still life in your legs. There is still strength in your spine. There is still a current running through your veins. And when you give it the right signal, even that lost confidence, the one you thought was gone for good, can come back, quietly, steadily, like a pilot light reigniting. And when it does, something else changes, not just in your body, but in your spirit. You start walking taller, speaking with more ease, smiling more, connecting more. Intimacy doesn't feel like a memory. It feels like something possible again.
Not because of any miracle, but because you cared enough to start. So tomorrow when you walk into the kitchen, take a breath. Make it different. Don't reach for what's quick. Reach for what's real. You don't need fancy powders or complicated routines.
You need a real breakfast, food that speaks your body's language, a bowl of yogurt, a handful of berries, a few seeds of pomegranate, warm quinoa, half an avocado. That's it. You don't need to do all 5. Just one is enough, one real step, one kind message to your body, and then do it again the next morning and the next. Because what you're building isn't just stronger circulation. It's trust. It's rhythm. It's momentum. And over time, that momentum becomes strength, becomes movement, becomes energy, becomes desire, becomes life. And maybe you'll look back, weeks from now, or even months, and smile at how it all began. Not with a doctor's visit, not with a prescription, not with a lecture, but with breakfast, with one quiet decision to stop waiting and to start again. I believe in your body's ability to renew. I've seen it too many times to doubt it. I've seen tired legs walk again without dragging. I've seen men who thought they'd never feel aroused again smile at a touch. I've seen relationships reconnect. I've seen self-respect return. Not from some expensive treatment, but from breakfast. Consistent, thoughtful, powerful breakfast. And now you have the same choice in your hands. So the question remains, what will you eat tomorrow morning, and more importantly, what will you believe is still possible, because that belief, that quiet, steady belief, that's where everything changes. You've already taken the first step by learning. Now comes the most important part. Begin. And if you're still here, still listening, still holding space for this message, then let me tell you something personal. I don't just share these things because they sound nice or because they test well in studies. I share them because I've seen what happens when men decide to show up for themselves again. I've sat across from men who walked into my clinic slouched, silent, heavy with doubt. And I've watched those same men walk out weeks later, lighter, prouder, more alive. Not because their problems disappeared overnight, but because they finally chose to stop treating their health like a lost cause. We're not here to chase youth. We're here to protect your dignity, your comfort, your strength, not the strength of your 20s, but the kind of strength that says, I still care. I still matter. I still want to feel good in my own skin. And you deserve that. You deserve to feel at home in your body. You deserve to look forward to your mornings, to feel a sense of quiet pride when you zip your pants and your body responds the way you hoped it would. You deserve to sit across from someone you care about, reach across the table and know, without a doubt, that there's still something vibrant in you, something present, something masculine and grounded and real. Breakfast is where it begins, but it doesn't end there. Because once you start feeding your body the way it was meant to be fed, something inside you clicks, and that click changes things. You start noticing how certain foods make you feel. You start drinking more water without forcing it. You stretch just a little more. You sit with your thoughts longer instead of distracting yourself. And maybe, just maybe, you start opening up again. To your partner, to yourself, to the version of you that always believed life could still feel rich. There's power in that. There's healing in that. Some mornings will be easier than others. Some mornings you'll feel strong and steady. Other mornings you might feel slow or tired or unsure. That's okay. Healing isn't a straight line. Progress isn't loud. But every time you show up, every time you pick up that spoon, or slice that fruit, or pause to chew instead of rush, you're telling your body, I haven't given up on you. And your body, it listens. It may not respond right away, but it listens. And slowly, it starts to trust you again. And when that trust returns, so does energy. So does clarity. So does desire, not just for intimacy, but for life, for laughter, for connection, for feeling like yourself again. And that's really what all of this is about. Not performance, not perfection, not even pleasure, though that often returns too. This is about feeling whole again, balanced, awake, in rhythm with the life inside you. You've lived long enough to know what matters. And right now, what matters is giving your body the quiet support it's been begging for. The kind of support that doesn't cost a fortune, doesn't involve side effects, doesn't demand you become someone you're not. Just food, real food at the right time, eaten with care. And look, if you fall off for a day or two, that's all right. This isn't about guilt. This isn't about all or nothing. It's about momentum, about coming back, about remembering even when you forget. And if you ever doubt whether it's worth it, whether one breakfast could possibly make a difference, just remember this: every strong house stands because of small bricks. Every tree begins with a single root. Every sunrise starts in the dark. And every man who feels strong again had to first believe it was possible. So tomorrow, choose one thing, one food, one moment of stillness. Eat slowly, breathe deeply, feel your body receiving what you're giving it, and whisper to yourself, this is me coming back. Because you're coming back, not to who you were, but to who you are. Wiser, gentler, stronger than you know, and I'll be here every step, every morning, every choice you make to keep showing up. Because you're not alone in this, not now, not ever. You've got this, and breakfast, just breakfast, is the first doorway.
Walk through it and watch what happens next.